everybody? Hey. I am Coach Whitney.
I am trainer Travis.
And this is our take on life, guys.
Yes.
Travis and I are the co-owners of Life Addict Studio in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It is a semi-private fitness facility where we help high performers live their most active, energetic, and healthy lives just by simplifying healthy living, okay?
Definitely.
And you're back on another episode where we share just our take on life, on healthy living, and how to simplify healthy living. So we're going to get right into today's episode, which is a good one. It's something that we've been thinking about for a while, that we've had discussions about. So we're going to share it with you. Today we are talking about why and what causes people to wait until a crisis occurs in their health before they actually do something about it.
That's good.
Why do we do that
That's
as
good.
human people, just in general when we're pursuing it? Why do we wait until the very last minute? What causes us to procrastinate, and why should we choose a different option or make a different decision? First things first. Generally what we do when we are talking to new clients or potential members is we hop on a discovery call so that we can learn a little bit more about what people are looking to do, what their goals are, and actually see if that aligns with the services that we offer, because we want to make sure that we can actually help people. We're not just about getting your money. You come here and you don't get a result, it doesn't feel right for you, you're not working towards what you actually need in your life. We want to make sure it's aligned. So we do a discovery call.
And then I would say too, just like to make sure that you're aligned, like we don't just look at you as a number. Like we really want to make sure, like even with that discovery call, we want to make sure that we can actually partner together to help you with your health and wellness goals. Because just looking at a person as a number, like it really takes the passion out of it, because you're just always looking at that person as a number. Oh, gotta get this number. But no, we care about you as a person. So that's why we want to set up a discovery call, because we don't want people to just become a member here and then realizing that, you know what, we really wasn't a good fit for each other.
Yeah.
So we like to make sure we do that in the beginning, because then if you're not a good fit, we will send you to somebody that will actually help you with the goals or the style that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So what does that even have to do with what we're talking about? Well, one of the questions that we always ask on a discovery call is like, what caused you to try now? Like, why are you reaching out now? Why didn't you wait another 3 months or 6 months? Like, what created that urgency? And a lot of times it's because something has occurred in the person's health that pushed them to say, okay, now I need help. Whether that's something that the doctor has told them, or they're experiencing discomfort in their body, or they're experiencing, I just don't feel the way I know I could feel. I don't feel my best. I don't look my best. I don't feel confident. But it's like we've waited now until this is an issue that I have to address, versus taking a moment and honestly prioritizing our health in advance before something even goes wrong.
Right.
And we hear it a lot. So we thought we want to talk about that, right? Because we want to make sure that even if you're pursuing your health, your wellness journey, and all that good stuff, that we're shifting the way that we think about it so that we're able to take our lives back and take the control back and be in the driver's seat of our health and well-being, as opposed to being very reactive to it. So one of the things that we want to talk about is, why do people do it? And I guess, what are some of the downfalls of waiting until you experience a crisis? One of the downfalls. And tell me, you guys can drop comments below. If you're listening to it on the podcast, you can drop comments in the podcast. But tell me if you guys experience any of these things when like a crisis pops up in your health. Generally, we experience panic, because we're like, oh my goodness, something is wrong with my body. And then we start thinking about other things that could potentially happen or snowball.
Or we go right to the worst case scenario.
Absolutely.
Almost instantly. Like, it could literally not be a worst case scenario, but our minds will automatically go right into that.
Mm-hmm. And I know for me, I start thinking, as a mom and as a wife, and, having a family, I start thinking about, oh my gosh, how is this going to affect my child? Like, how is this going to affect my husband if it gets worse? If it get like what? And that draws me into essentially like this kind of panic. And I believe a lot of people experience that, especially with families and with people they care about. It's like, well, how does this impact people outside of me? Because I'm a big part of their lives and they're a big part of mine. And I think another thing that people experience when, the doctor says, hey, you have really, really high blood pressure, like you need to figure that out, is stress, which doesn't work when you have high blood pressure. It just makes your blood pressure stay high or get even higher. And I think that part of that is because, which is another one of the issues or things that you may experience, part of that is because now you feel like there's an urgency to fix this problem that you don't or didn't have the resources to fix in the first place, but now you absolutely have to do something about it. So, let us know in the comments, have you experienced any of those things? Have you gotten a doctor's report or something like that? You don't have to share the details, but where, some of those emotions and things started to come up for you, maybe has your family member, something like that, or a friend or someone close, like, is this a common thing that you guys are experiencing that aligns with some of the things that we've, heard?
Mm-hmm. And then I think too, like sometimes in my mind and just, in my family and stuff like that, both sides of my family, I feel like even then they didn't take health as serious. So, we like what we eat. If we wanted, that peach cobbler with 2 pounds of sugar in there, or we wanted to have that fried chicken or the fried fish. We used to always have fish fries all the time, and with French fries. That's bars. But like, I think just back in the day, it's just they used to continue to do stuff like that, and I know like we have people that's in our family that has, both high blood pressure, diabetes, and stuff like that, and then even having the opportunity to correct it. They were just so accustomed to what they knew, in a sense, that they didn't shift, and some outcomes wasn't the best. Some outcomes they're still dealing with stuff, but like really just getting to that point of understanding, like, I might want some fish, but I don't have to eat it 3 times a week. Maybe I'll save that for what do these be? Fish fry Fridays. Maybe I'll wait for Fridays instead of doing it multiple times throughout the week. I think it's just, we have to really start seeing that, I still like certain things, but I don't have to allow that to consume me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that part of that also has to do with educating ourselves, like it's not necessarily that we're like fried foods, don't ever have fried foods and things like that. And some people are like, well, that's just not an option for me because I like fried foods, or fried foods are a part of my family's culture, and it brings me back to a space of familiarity and comfort and all of that stuff. So it's not, we're like, don't ever do it. It's like, well, be educated so that you can make an educated decision for yourself, for your body, for your family, about what you're putting into your body. What are the health benefits of fried food? Like, what are the negative maybe consequences of consuming fried food? What does, eating oil that has a bajillion calories in a small amount, what does that mean for, you if you're on a weight loss journey, or, if you're trying to work through maybe a diabetes diagnosis or something, and you're needing to bring down your levels of, highly saturated fats and all that other stuff, like, what does that actually mean for you? And I think a lot of times what we do is we just kind of blindly go through life doing what's familiar and what's comfortable, and then we just accept the consequences that happen at the end. Like, well, this is just the way it is. This is just what happens to, my people, or, people who look like me or something like that, which there are cultural things and generational things that are passed down culturally, but like, we're not like victims to having to deal with this stuff just because that's the way it is. Like, that's not an acceptable answer. We have the power and the capacity to make a different decision
Right.
And to do that, we have to be educated, which means we have to pursue that.
And then one thing that I've heard is, oh, I hate hearing when people say this, well, it hasn't killed me yet.
Lord.
But that concept right there within itself, like just because it hasn't killed you yet, what is really happening on the inside?
Yeah.
That is slowly taking days or minutes or seconds off of your life because you haven't just said, you know what, I'm gonna shift. Not saying I'm gonna completely just stop it, but I'm gonna shift how I was doing things. Because I had somebody who used to drink Mountain Dew like 5 bottles a day, and just by shifting, just his view on it completely shifted how his body responded. So like it's sometimes it's just those little, like we've talked about, and you're gonna always kind of hear it, like it's always about those little shifts that can actually be a huge benefit to your overall health.
Absolutely, and taking that initiative to do it up front versus having to do it, like not having a decision but to go get surgery or something like that, when you could have prevented some of those things just by making a different decision. Like that's powerful, being able to really be in control of what you can control when it comes to your well-being. And to your point about people, just being like, well, this is just it or whatever, and then you try to make the change and then it doesn't work and all that other stuff. It's like one of the benefits of being like thinking ahead and trying to make these decisions before crisis occurs is that you don't have to abruptly change everything in your life.
Correct.
Just like Travis said, like you can start to make small changes, do small steps that will compound over time and create this really big impact in your life. And instead, what generally happens is when people face crisis, or when it feels like a crisis or just completely overwhelming, it's like, well, I need to go into the gym and I need to work 7 days a week and I need to eat only salad and berries and this, that, and the other, which is a total setup for failure. Because none of that aligns with your current lifestyle and your mind and your body and where you drive and how your whole setup is designed for this particular course that you've been living for years upon years upon years, and you try and drastically shift that. It doesn't work, it's not sustainable, and then you fail, quote unquote, which means in order to get back to comfort, you go back to the things that are familiar, which were unhealthy, and then you get stuck in this vicious cycle, and you're like, well, what am I doing wrong?
So I'm gonna just pause right there. And I'm going to just apologize for any trainer or coach that just instantly put you on a meal plan that instantly deprives you of everything. Because sometimes in doing that, and like she's already said, like when we start, a lot of trainers, like that's what we were actually taught. But then as we started just seeing, what is actually true, what's the best way to coach somebody into a new health and wellness journey or help them break habits and stuff, we learned that it is the smaller steps that helps people to actually have long-lasting results, not just a quick fix or, like I've said before, lose this amount in 30 days. No, it's let's correct what we've been doing wrong for so many years. Let's just slowly do that. So then now it becomes natural. It's like, I drink 64 ounces of water a day because now that's really what I want to do, because I started off only doing 16, for a day, for a few weeks, and then I increased that, and then now like water is a part of what I do. And since then, now I've actually incorporated eating more vegetables. So like taking it slower actually does create a benefit. So anybody who has ever told you that that's not enough, that is enough, because small goals, small attainable goals will help you, a long ways.
That's so good, and it's so counterproductive to how most people see what change is about. Most people see just drastic. Most people are stuck in the New Year's resolution mentality of like, all right, if I write these things down and January 1 hits at the crack of dawn, my whole life is gonna change. And And then by February 22nd,
sometimes by January 26th.
Sometimes by January 20th. And that's statistics. Like, that's literal statistics that say it doesn't work. Most people are out of those resolutions by February and March. And I think that something that's super, super important is just learning how to do what Travis said, like taking those small steps. It's what we teach and coach and support our clients through here, or our members here at Life Addicts. Like, it's not about setting these dramatic, goals. It's about how can you find one thing that you can work on, and how can you create parameters around that one thing to help support you along the journey. And when it doesn't work, how can you have grace for yourself, not feeling like a failure, and at the same time, like, pivot and adjust and just think about it from a non-judgmental perspective of, okay, well, this didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? What happened in my life that caused an obstacle or a barrier or something to be in my way? All right, now how do I move that out of the way and then try again? And a lot of times we try, it doesn't work, and we think, oh, it's over, that's it. It's just not gonna work for me. And that's not what it is. We just have to put in the time, put in the work, and it will work for you. But you have to commit to that. I guess the last two benefits, as I'm thinking about it, is when you are preventative in terms of making the decision to take control of your health before a crisis occurs. One of those things is you get options, right? Like, you don't have to be like relegated to, oh no, now you have to take 12 pills a day. Otherwise, your heart's not going to function properly, or this isn't going to function properly. It's like, no, I get options. I get to choose. Okay, if I have all these different fruits, all these different vegetables, and they have all these health benefits and these different herbs and all that, I can try a little bit of this, I can try a little bit of that. I can see what works for me. I can see if, meal planning this way or prepping that way works for me. You have options. And when you have options, you're more in control. And when you're more in control, you feel like you are able to take your life back. Yeah. Not that, all these external things are taking your life from you.
And then I guess the last thing I would say, just to kind of piggyback on what she's saying too, is that's what makes you creating your own meal plan that actually works for you. Because if somebody is just to give you this diet, which we don't say here, if somebody just give you this diet, tell you this is what you got to have, like she said before, it's easier for you to backslide in a sense from that. But if you have control, you know what you can eat, you know what your body wants. That's why every member that has been here has been able to really create their own meal plan that has worked for them, that has worked for their lifestyle, but it's healthier, it has more nutritional value. Like, so that's what we're saying when we're saying, like, you can control. We're going to help coach you through it. Like, as long as you're taking the tools that we are giving and you're actually putting them to work, you're going to receive the results that you're looking for. It may not be losing 20 pounds in 2 weeks. No. But through time, it's going to happen. Then through time, you're not going to see them come back.
That's so good. I think most people are used to the opposite. Most people are used to, okay, if I show up at a gym or fitness studio or something like that, like, they're just going to give me the plan. They're going to give me the plan. And then when people get here and they're like, well, what's your nutrition plan? We're like, oh, we coach people through what healthy nutrition is. And we empower you to make decisions based on your life, your preferences, and your goals and outcomes and what you're looking to do. And that requires a mindset shift, even to start thinking like, oh, I actually have power over that. Like, you don't have to just tell me what to eat. But that would just be so much easier. But then you're not going to eat it. You're not going to eat it because it doesn't align with you.
Every excuse why you didn't do that. They're going to be mad at your trainer because you ain't getting your results.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Listen, I hope you took notes. I hope you took copious notes. And if you didn't, I hope you replay it. Just run that back. Yeah. Run that back and take some notes because we want to make sure that we are giving you guys the kind of value that actually shifts and changes your life, and you feel empowered and you feel like your capacity is deepened and you feel like you can take your own life back. So, if you haven't already,
don't forget to subscribe and follow, like, and share.
All right, you guys. All right. One more thing. If you need a coach, and if you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you're looking for a space that does what we're telling you or teaching you about, go ahead, check us out at lifeethicstudio.com. You can book a free discovery call and chat with us about your goals and what you're looking to do, just like the call that I mentioned earlier, and we will be more than happy to just chat with you and see if this would be the space for you. All right, lifeethicstudio.com. Check it out, book a call, and we'll holla.
All right, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe.